Welcome. Before we get started, I have a quick poker trivia question for you. What is the loneliest hand in Texas Hold'em? I'll give you 3 seconds. Think about it. It's the offsuit King Jack. You get it, right? In case, you know what? Let me change my shirt and re-say it. 1 second. What I meant to say is that it's Jack King off. I can't promise there won't be more jokes like that. But anyhow, you came in for poker, not stand-up comedy. So let's paint the picture of where we were. Weekend was, I had a bunch of nights of DJing back to back. I think I did a club. I had a cool Lunar New Year celebration for Korean adoptee kids and their families. I had a wedding, which was fantastic, and happened to be in the area of around some card rooms. So, as I said, that I like to parlay my DJ adventures and trips and gigs with poker. And in this episode, I actually play at 2 different spots. I start off in a casino and then head to a home game. You can see my breath because this is Waterloo, New York. It's not Cali. It's not Vegas. Waterloo, New York, home of Del Lago Casino. If you're new to this vlog, or you're new to any poker vlogs, probably never have been done here before. DJ Washburn, I live in Ithaca, New York, so Del Lago, this is like an hour and 15 minutes from my house where I play a lot here. And yeah, it's cold, but hopefully our cards are not. Is that cheesy? Cheesy line? It's cold, but hopefully our cards are not. I don't know. I'm new to this. Let's see what happens. So here at Del Lago and most of the casinos and card rooms near me in central New York, they usually only have 1, 3, 2, 5, occasionally 5, 10. But the 1-3s here, though, are match the stack and you can double straddle. So they always play much bigger, more typical, probably close to like a 5-10. Because typically, usually I can buy into the biggest stack, which is 3, 4, 5, 6K, sometimes more. At least a straddle to 6, sometimes a double straddle to 12, and you're playing much higher than a typical 1-3. There's always good action here, and I think the match the highest stack is something that all casinos should do. I know a lot of the Texas card rooms, some of the other ones around the country are doing that, but it is great, especially if you think you are a better player, and it's great for action. And of course, playing so many small amount of big blind buy-ins, like most casinos, it's tougher to get unstuck. And the way we play, we're action, and you can't get unstuck in the muck. So I hope you enjoy here. Again, this is Waterloo, New York, Del Lago. Let's get into the action and see what happens. First hand of significance, we've got King Jack of Spades in the big blind. It's actually a 2-5 game, 2-5-10 game running, which is rare, but it does happen on the weekends. Against this player who I've had a lot of history with, he tends to call me pretty light, and we've played a lot of juicy pots together. He opens under the gun to 30, and I 3-bet to 150. Just he calls. Flop is Queen 9-6 2 spades. I lead for 200, and he quickly 3-bets me to 450. With a straight draw and a flush draw, I'm definitely calling here. I even debated re-raising, but we're pretty deep, and I kind of want to see, since we're just getting started off in this session, to see how he is playing tonight. Also, in our previous history, he has called me very wide, very light on flops and turns, so I know if I inflate this pot, I'm probably not going to lose him. I have very little fold equity here, because he'll probably call me down, and I'd have to hit my hand, so I don't want to go too crazy yet. Turn comes a 7 of clubs. I check. He bets 600. I call. River, 5 of clubs. It goes check, check, and he shows ace, queen for the win. So clearly we bricked everything, missed our straight draw, flush draw, and even our king.
Yeah, you got it.
Whee! Bye-bye. It sucks to get stuck so early on such a massive hand that you miss, but hey, that's how it goes. But good news is, not too much later, we look down at aces. It's a double straddle hand, which means $20 is on the button. So the blinds act first pre-flop. They both fold, and then the under the gun straddle to 10. He makes it 60. I'm in the hijack, and I 3-bet to 175. Everyone else folds, and he makes the call. Flop comes out ace 4-5 with 2 hearts. He checks. I down bet to 100 with top set. He makes the call. Turn is a ace of diamonds, which gives me quads. It goes check, check. The river is a queen of spades. He leads for 150.
I raise to 600 and he folds. I show aces and collect the $1,000 high hand that was actually going on at the time. I did not know, but after I showed it, the dealer said, "Hey, you just won $1,000." Well, most likely.
I guess we gotta show this one. Quads. High hand? What a fold. That's $1,000. High hand, 1K, quad aces. Mwah.
Well, that was a nice unexpected gift. And speaking of gifts, a couple rounds later, we are in the cutoff and look down to 2 10s. A very solid hand according to the Phil Hellmuth book. You know, the one where he gave an animal name for every type of player. Spoiler alert, you want to be an eagle, not a mouse. It's also a great hand if you like soccer, or for you non-Americans, football. We also have a button straddle to 20. The same guy that I just had the quad aces against, he opens early to 60 again. And just like in that hand, I 3-bet to 175. However, this time the button cold calls. The original early position raiser calls as well. They both have about 5K effective, and I have them both covered. The guy on the button is the one who beat me in that King Jack of Spades hand that I missed. So we go 3 ways here to a flop of 3, 9, 10, 9, 10 of clubs. So we have top set again. Yeah, let's make this a continuing pattern, please. Early position checks. I bet 225. The button folds, and early position calls. The turn brings an 8 of spades. He checks. I bet 700. He calls again. I like where this is going so far. River is a 3 of spades. All the flush draws miss, but I have top boat here. He checks. I size up to 1,600, and he calls rather quick. We show the 10s, and yeah, we scoop another one. Now, this next hand is the last one I play at the casino before I head to the home game, but it's a real doozy, all right. Wait till you see the odds. Well, you know what? I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it. It's good. We are in the cutoff. It's a button straddle to 20 as well. And we look down at an absolute premium. Yes, premium. Deuce 5 of spades. We're 40% to a steel wheel. Both blinds complete, as does the under the gun straddle. I bump it up to 100. And just the button and the big blind call. And we are 3 ways to a flop that looks pretty favorable, shout out Andrew Nemi, of King Deuce 5, 2 clubs. Yeah, that's definitely a Hulk.
Smash.
Interestingly enough, though, the big blind donk leads for 200. I re-raise to 550, and the button goes all in for like 595. The donk better also goes all in with about 1200-ish. I snap call thinking I'm way ahead here. I'm clearly not playing the deuce 5 to flop 2 pair and to fold. Ha, definitely not. Given the action thus far and what I know about these opponents, I definitely feel like one has a king and then one has a flush draw. With no more action, it's now all in the fate of the cards. Now, in real time, we don't expose the cards, and I don't find out what people have until after the hand, but I'm going to tell you right now what they were. The button has ace queen of clubs, flush draw as expected. He had the smaller stack, and then the person who donk led on the flop has a set of 5s. I'm Asian, so usually I'm good at math, but I have no idea what my odds here, so we go to the trusty poker calculator. We are 11% of a percent to win, and still less than a percent to tie.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
John the dealer turns a king, and at this point I think I'm just completely dead and the hand is done. So when the river king comes out also, I don't really think too much of it.
How good do you run?
How good are you?
What do you mean? That's the only
Zero equity and fucking champion.
You're right.
How do
You're right. Okay.
Good, man.
Yeah!
It's the only time in my life I can recall being 11% of a percent to win. Well, technically I tied, but because of the side pot action, I actually profited. So being that slim to win, still made money on the hand. Amazing, right? So shortly after that hand, the game breaks, and that's when I decide to leave the casino and head to the other home game. So we were into that 2-5-10 game for about $8,000. That's what we got to buy in with. We cashed out with just under $12,000 for a profit of just under $4,000. So not bad for a 3-hour mini session there. So we gas up the van, hop on the highway, and head towards the other game, which is only about 45 minutes away. So here we go. Literally the first hand we get dealt in. We are under the gun. It's 2-5 right now. I look down at king 10 offsuit. I open up to 25 and only the cutoff calls. Flop comes jack 5-6 rainbow. I see a bet here, 25. He calls. Turn is a queen of hearts, putting 2 hearts on the board now. I bet 100 and he folds. So good start. Always nice to win your first hand, usually. Nothing significant happens till exactly 1 round later when we are again under the gun, but this time we put the straddle on to 10. There are 4 limps, and we look down to see 2 red aces.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Cut off, small blind, both call. The big blind goes all in for less. He's only got 30. Actually, he had like 27, but I gave him $3 so he could make it easy on the dealer. So 4 ways to a flop of jack 9, 3, 2 hearts. Jack 9, 3, 2 hearts. Small blind checks. I bet 125, cutoff folds, and the small blind does call. The turn is a king of clubs. He checks. I bet 300, and he folds pretty quick. So then we've got the all-in big blind. I show the aces, and he mucks, saying that he is drawing dead. So far, we're killing it. We've won every hand we've played, and the very next hand, we look down to ace-5 of hearts in the big blind, and at this time, I do have everyone covered. The under the gun limps, +1 raises to 30. There are 4 calls. Gets back to me. I 3-bet to 220. The under the gun who limped, he flats this 220. It folds around. The original raiser actually folded. And then the hijack, who was one of the people that just called, re-raises to 450, and he's got about 900 behind. Yeah, kind of weird, right? So then it comes back to me, and then I say those few magic words.
Stop me, beautiful!
I would like to go all in, please.
The under the gun thinks about it for a second, and then he shoves, and he's got around 2K. And then the hijack shoves and puts his remaining 900 in as well. So we show our hands, and I'm proud to say that I've got the hearts covered. Ace-5 of hearts. Under the gun has kings, and the hijack has ace-king of spades. Rough, huh? You know, given the action, it's tough to put them on kings and ace-king there. Just the way they played it. Very funky, very weird. The board runs out. Queen, jack 2, 1 heart. Not looking great for us. But there is hope on the 8 of hearts turn. Ooh, baby. Telling me there's a chance. But sadly, a 10 of diamonds, brick river, doesn't do it for us. But as you know, that ace king did hit the gutter to scoop it. Hits the nuts. And it's funny because a player said that they actually folded pocket 10s pre-flop. So we're stuck early. We lost about 1,300 to the ace king and then another 600 plus in the side pot to the kings. But we've got a well of chips next to us. So we grab a couple stacks. We reload. We're back ready to go. Next few rounds, nothing too significant. We play a few hands here where we just 3-bet pre-flop. We c-bet the flop, they fold. So not too much happening there. Nothing too interesting. Hulk Hogan once told me to eat my vitamins and say my prayers and beg for aces when you're losing in a poker game. So that's what I did here. We're on the button and we straddled to 10 pre-flop. Sadly, only one person in middle position limps in. I raise to 35. He calls. Flop comes down 6-7-3 rainbow. He checks. I bet 35. He calls. This is the guy that won that big multi-way all-in pre-flop with ace-king. He plays a little funky. The turn comes a beautiful ace. Well, maybe beautiful. It might scare the action, but I have top set here. And I'll let the clip from the actual video play so you can hear the table talk and what he says. Because he says that pocket pair isn't good and that he has ace-6.
Got a pocket pair. It's no good, my friend.
Pocket pair isn't good?
No good.
Wow. What do you have then?
That was what I got.
Straight?
A6. Not a straight something.
A6 is probably good.
So that's what I have. I'll check.
Yeah. Let's see if you actually have it. 150. Yeah, A6.
Obviously, he was lying. He turns over king 6 and muck, so whoop-de-doo. Would have been nice to win a little bit more with top set, but that's the way it goes. Speaking of top set, a few hands later, no, we don't get top set. However, we did get a pretty good hand. King Jack of diamonds. We're under the gun +1. UTG limps. I bump it up to 30. The small blind, which is the guy who just said he had the A6, the guy who won the big all-in before, he 3-bets to 60, so pretty much a min click. The limper under the gun calls. I decide to 4-bet here to 350. I really want to isolate the small blind dude. His chips are racked up, so it looks like he's leaving soon. And I want to play my hand strong here and try to win a big pot since we are stuck. Just the small blind calls. With a little over 800 in the pot, we go to a flop that is queen, 3 deuce, 2 spades, no diamond. He checks, I bet 300, and he quickly raises to 800. Yay. I fold, and he shows queen, queen for top set. So I guess, yeah, speaking of top set, it's just him this time. I've been told that when you're stuck, it's good to end on a punt. So let's do it. This brings us to our last hand of the night. Now the game's about to break. Everyone's chips are racked up. It's like 4 or 5 handed. We get ace jack of spades in the small blind. Pretty looking hand. Cutoff opens to 15. Button calls. I 3-bet to 70. Big blind and the other 2 guys call. So we're going 4 ways to this flop, which happens to be king 10-2, 1 spade. I lead for 140. We get 2 folds, and then the button raises to 300. This player has been playing all right. But like I said, we're stuck. Last hand of the night. I'm looking for a chance to get close to being unstuck. So I shove for his remaining 500, so not too much. I have like no fold equity here, but I'm ready to gamble here. In my mind, I think I'm just going to hit running spades and win it all. So yeah, that's the plan. We do it. He insta-calls, of course. He's got king 10 for top 2. I asked the dealer if he can put out some spades. His response was,
I don't have spades.
and I don't hit a queen either, so whatever. Double him up, punt it away. Woohoo! Good end to the session. So clearly the second session didn't go as well as the first one of the night. That game we were in for $7 grand and we cashed out with 3,900, so we lost 3,100 on the nightcap. That's overall, so we were up a few hundred on the 2 sessions combined. You know, it's always better to win than lose, but kind of one of those upstock moments where you win a lot the first one, then you kind of punt it away. On the second one, clearly ace 5 of hearts, the ace jack suited, high risk, high variance plays that didn't work out for me, and probably in the long run they won't. Actually, I can guarantee you that they won't, but we had a great time, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this first vlog. And please, I welcome your feedback. Since this is the first time this is kind of new to me, I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts on things I could do better. Hopefully you found this entertaining, a little bit unique from the other poker vlogs. And as I continue to do more of this, I'll get a better hang of it, make it more efficient, make it more hopefully enjoyable for you, and just tweak different things, whether it's camera angles, whether it's the amount of screen time, whether it's the interviews, all that type of thing, that I will continue to make this evolve and be as damn good as possible. So thank you for your support. If you haven't subscribed and liked, please do so now, and stay tuned. More poker action will be coming your way. Thanks.